one more time, rallying the people in a speech in which he said he wanted a civilian national security force of 250,000 or more. Well, there's a lot of speculation in regard to that. You could go back to the Nazi brown shirts or the SS. And this is where people, I think, are coming from at this point, especially if they're coming from the Republican side of the aisle. The liberal side of the aisle, as far as I'm concerned at this point in time, is nothing more than a bunch of Marxists led by a Marxist. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Well, it's already started. I think it's, I don't know what the unit is, like a brigade has already been assigned to North America and to the United States, and that's unlawful. It's illegal. It violates the Insurrection Act and the pamphleteer Act and the whole principle of where the law and order should be taken care of. But they have already assigned troops under this administration. So the door is open if there is breakdown of law and order. We've had it before, in the 60s, and if we start having that, I don't think they'll hesitate for a minute to have a very large number of military personnel, possibly, declaring martial law.
There's a lot of rumor that is going around the Internet right now, sir, that people need to start getting prepared, something that I have been preaching for a long time on this radio program. I think it's just wise to be prepared for anything that comes at you. I can't imagine you even disagreeing with that. There's a website called preparedplanet.com that a lot of people have been going to and stocking up on goods and supplies. Do you think at this point in time that it is prudent to begin to stockpile for what may be coming out of this social upheaval?
Yes, but a lot of people have thought about that even for other reasons, and just as a general principle, it's not the worst idea in the world. I live on the Gulf Coast, and a lot of us stockpile and prepare for natural emergencies. We have hurricanes come in, and it's best that you are prepared. And although we haven't really had to be prepared to resist our own government, it's, obviously a possibility depending on, what happens. But once again, exactly what people do will be a decision made by them. But I don't know, you indicated that maybe all Americans are thinking this way. I think if all Americans have been thinking this way, they would have done more to change the direction of our election. So unfortunately, I think more people are very complacent, and as long as the government says they're going to take care of them and there'll be a safety net and you don't have to worry and give up your freedoms because we're going to make you safe and secure, I'm afraid there's still a lot of those people around, and they're not going to stock up. They'll figure that the government's going to take care of them, and all they have to do is make sure they have somebody up there that says, I'm going to take care of you, all your needs. This whole idea that Obama has about his definitions of rights, he wants positive rights. That is, you have a right to a job, you have a right to a house, you have a right to free medical care, you have a right to food, and these are what real rights are all about. That's the principle that we have to deal with, instead of the idea that we have a right to our life, and a right to our liberty. That's the key distinction. And that's the approach I take, and it's probably slightly different.
No, sir, I can't think of a more appropriate approach to take to that than what you just described here. That's very well said.
Okay, thank you.
Where do you think, we're beginning to run out of time here, so we'll make this fast. Where do you think our society is right now, outside of what you outlined? Do you think that we are literally split down the middle as a society in the United States of America? And the second question, is that good for us?
Well, yes, I think there is a division, although I'm pessimistic that there's so many still totally dependent on government and they like it. I think there is a shift because I think this financial crisis is waking up a lot of people and saying, hey, maybe those promises won't come through. And therefore, the people I talked to during the campaign, the young people, I didn't promise them anything other than to be left alone, to keep their money and to make their own decisions, but be responsible for it. So I think, it is split. You don't know the exact numbers. And, of course, once you get more than half the people wanting to live off the other half, and you have pure democracy, then that's our great danger today, is because we're blindly accepting this idea of the dictatorship of the majority. Anybody who votes for it, the minority is no longer protected. This whole idea of protecting the minority is so confusing. Individuals are the ultimate minority, and they have to be protected. But yes, I do think it's split. We don't know exactly where we are. Is winning. I think our numbers are growing, but that influence is not yet in Washington. I sensed during the campaign that our numbers were very good, but the establishment, the media, the politicians, and the teachers, they're still on the side of forced redistribution and use of government power to do these things. So it is very delicate times, and I think one thing I'm convinced of, we can't maintain the status quo. Something has to give. We're either going to be moving rapidly to a dictatorial government, or our side, who believes in individual freedom and the republic, we will have to be heard from, and we will have to change the political process, and hopefully we can do that without violence.
Can we count on you to come back over to our radio program to keep our radio network, Patriot Brigade Talk Radio Network, up to date?
Well, I'll do my best. I've learned not to make any positive promises
yes, sir,
without double-checking, because schedules are such. But I'll make an effort to come back. I certainly will.
Yes, sir. We'd like to get you to come back on a regular basis, even if it's just for a short amount of time. We would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for being here, Congressman.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good to be with you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was from earlier today. To be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, that was from about, I think it was about 4:30 Central Standard Time. And Congressman Paul had to run. He really went out of his way to take time for the Patriot Brigade and all of you, as well as me. I trust Ron Paul. I hope one day he gets an opportunity to run for the presidency again. Maybe this time I won't be so hard on him, like all the other Republicans that were hard on him. That's just my point of view. Okay, we got to go out to break. We've got a special guest coming.